Ia, fia le loto ma le anganga te whatalo whaatu le swafa man malo o lo tato o li. Ia, o le ua maulupe le tamalo atua ma o tu lia fo i tulo le tai au o nolona o lofa ma lana tau singa le mawai mo tato uma. Ia, whafloi atu i le anganga tumu le whaaloalo i le pa ia maulunga Samoa i sosa tawhare nei laulangi whela wali tu le kolope le o mawame ne whasau launga o tau te ofo lo whaatu ma whaatalo whaatu. Ia, malo le soif o lang mo mai lo fionga tole afua.
Ia, malo fui lato mainga masani JT, ia koe lupo fo, ia pia fo ia sunga nei au mua, ia mai mo mai Samoa.
Ia, soif o mungia man langi ma, e lau fionga le, i pule ngaftasi, ia ma se fo le lako kai man lako le lau fionga tole afua. I tia foi koe kikilo ko le uro koe kaliu manguia mai ia o le viinga foi le tu malo malanga malo foi le atoto
Lady JT ke fa pe ngala malanga so ma tole fo ali ava kuolo fio
o le vanga fia o ko JT sa mo le uma ko kala me fa me JT ai
Fia ka ko ticket
next time
lo la so i fo au mo ma to the fo ia whaftai fo i mo t-shirt lewa mai Samoa
Ia, ngala.
pe wo ngala
Ele se me se le whamanguianga.
amene
We're going to jump straight into it with the Pacific Nations Cup that's just wrapped up. We saw Fiji take the cup. This is their 7th title, and this is their 2 consecutive back-to-back wins. La so mai mo le kaalonga le finals a Fikima mo Japan.
Yeah, whaftai lava mo le Fisili, and it was another good weekend of rugby. First time they hit the finals in America. I think they're setting up for America for the World Cup, not the next one, but in 31, I think then. So they're getting more games, and it was good. It was a good game. I had a look at that game and I watched it closely. Fiji, they're a strong team right across. So they had a lot of players that were missing, but they're still a strong team. But at halftime, they shot out to a 26-10 lead, and so Fiji were just throwing the ball. As we know, Fiji were confident, but they got a little bit complacent, and then discipline got them 2 yellow cards, and they gave Japan a bit of a chance, and I think they just about got it, but they just let themselves in. They felt it, poor discipline as well. The full-time score was 33-27, but that game could have gone either way. And I think even though they won their 7th back-to-back, that's their 7th Pacific Nations title, but it could have gone either way. And I think that they were very lucky, but I think Japan might be disappointed they didn't win that game.
So if I go the article the Aaron said, fa pe fo ngale le fa o le article, should Fiji and Japan move to another level in terms of, instead of playing with the tier, are we tier 2 or tier 3?
Well, we're on ranking, so we're not in the top 10.
Yeah.
So that we're sort of in the second part.
I think we're in tier 2.
Yeah. O kusa pe au nga sa all article was saying o kakauenga o fiki ma ya pangi ka alo I lunga Mereia, Argentina or Blacks ma Australia. But o maangai le kalia le coach fiki. For me o fiki e lako anganga fo ngale brotherhood. E de mo fenga lako ku ua isi island nations ia pe o konga ma Samoa. La sulu mangaku I le sau fiki langa sau I ngai PNC ngai kausanga.
Ia lunga mai mo fim ka ko maka ye. I au uma I silinga ma losi competition langa fai o fiki ma Japan. Ia sa le ia JT. Nga e pe yo e ia le o mo lo vo so ngai ma ko ma na ma foi. O fiki le ia ia ke me complace. O la vangola nga le ko mo la vangola sa o Japan ko. Ia ai peanga fai aku. Ia o 2 best teams ia competition. Poala ka ko kalam fai ia o lea o inga fili e po ka champing. Ia le vola ko champing fiki. Ia, e o vola kai pia menga sa unga mai fui. Ai fam kalanga le fa me fa pepe mo wei ia. Ia, o competition lava ia fu lava fo I awolo ia I makulanga le a. Ai ele mfinga va pia o kala inga fingo fingo fai. Ai o le level for competition. Ka ki kilo ia va pia o ngifi ki lunga le mele ia isi au foi ese foi le kula ai pio le nganga ngai fa ele le fam kalanga nga which is on ma kwa sa o ngo pio mama ke le me o e fiki ma Japan ai ia piko koi kong ia ka ko le ka maula no which is ele se me le al mai vil fam kalanga nga me coach fiki pe ve ki kilo fa pio le ainga foi le fa al pasifika foi le ele manga o ese ia.
Well, the exact words of the coach, it's Mick Burns.
Yeah, Mick Burns.
Mick Burns said that Fiji feels duty-bound to help other island nations grow, how important the responsibility is to Tonga and Samoa.
Exactly. That's all. Me konga ngai mo le me al coach le nganga ka ko fa Pasifika. Konga fiki Samoa. Le manga o ya lua le se ala ki ya ko isi ngo se ko. A pe mai le nganga a pe a fo lunga competition e. Mo fa yasi mau ke lungo o fiki ma chepe.
O mua la so loi. What are some factors po afangi key points e ke lo was successful ia au le fiki fa pe fo ia pangi I Kamilo Sanga I PNC wo what this years and the previous years.
Ole ka wa fisi ole le o fiki langa ole ma ko le super rugby. Sa o fola ia pangi. Sa e fola o ia pangi le super rugby. Ele o mamao sia nga umaku ala lunga ia pangi le level le. But anyway ole si me ole professional for me lo ile kamisanga ia pangi. Kele ia players, foreign players, le woka alo ya pangi mam difie ngole ia le level la kapia ya pangi al kulanga le we ngi fiki au fua ku ka longa le ngoma ku nge le fano le ngoma ku nge fin ka lo muni le afiki ma ya pangi al ka longa ma ya fiki ma konga ma samo isike ma ku fa ngo fi al ka longa ya fiki pe ia nga ku fiki sa vali lunga ile I kartahi mal man samo al ka longa le laki o vai vor ka longa le fano malo sia kuskala mo ya pangi yo aska ma I backline na king o laki le ka alo key players ya pangi le la ko center le kampalangi le midfield ele ka alo key players ya pangi ona la ve ala ko vai ka longa le so ele foi po ya pangi o la ko fo wiki ka mai sai sa lu man la fo wiki ale alo skala mo ya pangi nga lo implementate ya pangi skala mo o kalonga le ma fiki eu foi la kolaina ngale ko lua pa langia anga kele foi ngala ko flau nga mau foi contest foi pa langia ia line out fiki ale kele foi la skoia fiki o mistakes ya pangi foi le o giving away o polo e me si kama fo ngale o turnover le nga mau mai fiki ya vongoi a se pula ko a finga fola o score ya pangi it's all from set play o manga ia running on a couple kulang pe ole se senga nga le wo ia le ia au ya pangia ma fiki kai mingi so ko konga al mene o ga ko wa lan lo an level le wo pa o la ka pia ka ko.
You know, the other thing that I also saw, JT, was like just alluding to what Omo was talking about. Fiji's really good at broken play and flair. Like those are the two main things. Like you force a mistake in front of them, and they find the ball. Yako fasifu. Ole kanunga manusamo machili.
Well, the game is really important for the bigger picture of Samoa, and that's to get into the World Cup. So we just need to win that game. Okay. And if I can just come back to that point on the boys, and if those players were available, this is a tournament. We've been talking 3 weeks of tough rugby, and that's a World Cup tournament, right? And every team is having injuries, even up to the top teams, South Africa, the All Blacks, Australia, and so they have players to fill in straight away. Our depth of players in Samoa, even the Tongan, congratulations to Tonga winning the bronze. We don't have that player base. So when injuries come on tournament, if we don't have, it's not about the 23, it's about the 35, 40 players we need to have ready for tournament, because if they're not ready for injuries, lots of injuries are happening because the game is tougher, contact, head injuries. There's a lot of concussions. So now we're at the stage where we lost a lot of players in the first game against Tonga, the second game against Fiji in Rotorua. We saw a few injuries there. Now I was with Namna Uru Alama today to say, hey, how was the game? He says, even Alama was saying, oh, we were lucky to win that game. But see, so we're just missing that depth of those players, not taking them with you. I'm not sure on the selection or availability, but the players that we had there's certainly injuries. We just need to win that game, and sometimes you talked about flair. There's two things about Fiji. We're known for our power and our flair, but I think we need to be smart against Chile. We need to tie that ball up because we know rugby better than their country. A lot of respect, but we need to keep that ball tight. We need to work the rugby rules and work it to our strengths, our power, not to just to throw around, because we're not fit enough. We're 4 weeks into the tournament and we got boys that are not fit enough to last those 4 weeks.
E koe whapopo ko mene ka e o foi kile o kile o karianga ko nga game plan no ka aloi ka ko. Look at mele mo ngi fiki. E o foi lai game plan fiki. Sei mi isi au fiki. O lucky. E mo lo polo foi e turn over just individual. Boom. Wow. Le flair la le fa nga fiki. E le o stick kele ya ka mo fiki ele game plan. O me vole ke fa le fifie ke le foi ka ko coaches ye. O le copy fu I idea o ingei structure.
It doesn't suit us.
Ele suit ka ko kama. Be o le lo kama polar me la fai. Ya ku ala le wingil me la. Ya ke ale o so ku si kam. Ya pasia ku polo fiki ele o kele mau simple game plan. Le wale leika ko set pieces. Deep formation, man. Kwa whainga ka na vanga nga poe. Ka ko lainga, ankle, timing.
What is the Manu Samoa strength on this team? What are the strengths? Because we're not playing. I don't think we're playing to it.
Yeah.
I think we're playing to a pattern, but not playing to our strength.
Yeah.
But what is Manu Samoa's strength?
Yeah, it's a layer. Le ko kalong ngi Japan. La iki o kingo me ka alo la ko le strength for Japan.
Speed.
All speed. Pum. Sau ku.
The ball go.
O ka ko o le flair fo ka ko ku alo le me se me ele ka alo ka ko le strength fo ka ko me ko ngai. Ma le si me pe fo linga mai pe o le lo po la me a fai. Ai no o le lo pe fa ka mo el polo pe ka o fi po la la. Ia e pengo fai ako ele fa pe o ka ko i le au mala ko mal purpose e whainga kai ka ko le kalongo sa o le mele ko ke vai you know
Whanu moana Pasifika loa whelua lima e losu kolu kamiki Samoa saka alu au le PNC ngale ko o ongo kamiki me le moana ka alu le au le Manu Samoa. The majority of them could not play for Manu Samoa because they had other commitments, club commitments. O lenga mau ko fo I songoanga sa whapega, similar case with just recently the captain of Manu Samoa, Skamo Alatoa. He had to go back to his club. And there's already people saying, oh, why is he doing that, yada, yada, yada. I believe at the end of the day, that's his bread and butter to feed his family. But it also leaves us out of depth.
Well, I think you've hit it on the head, the depth. I mean, there's that question of, you're right, the Moana Pacifica, we knew that it's here to help our home nation, and they had a fantastic Super Rugby season.
Yeah.
They thrilled us and we supported them. Now we wanted them to go back. What happened? I'm not sure. All I know is that our team now is struggling and we're playing against Chile. All they needed to be is release for 2 games, even 2 games, then they can go NPC. If they were available for Tonga, and then be released to go to Rotorua, play against Fiji, and then they can go back to play NPC. Lots of players that are available, and I just don't know why they're not playing. I would love to see Garden Bishop come and play for, like his dad played first 5 for Samoa, and he can steady the ship around with Christian Lealiafano there, so he can add that experience with a bit of that youth around. I like that Stefani there. Coing as well, another strong runner. Papali'i, so it's really nice youth players, but they just need to have a bit of experience around. That's what we're lacking. But so we know they're there, we just don't know why they're not there. That's the big question.
Ole fisili esa leia, o fisili nga kong fisili. Sak ora me la ufair ka kolak piu. Ole ha se me ufair ka kosi o mfainga maku ka okama. Te yesi le me la ke ronga le manga obia fo. Manga obia pe a moska ko vango mal faia onga po le manager al monsamo. They have to front up. Kile mga almele se longa wa umalo mal monsamo nga lola yele e koi complain mai ko fa mai. Oh langa ya ma le kai minge we need to front up. Ioi ka ko fisi sa oi wa ke masalo. E langa le o ka mai ka alo ka NPC ola kom kala ke. So ringa ka ngo yi se agreement fo nga le ni ko che le melia. Em fa ye ngo
just to add on to Omua, we have quite a few players playing in Europe and Japan. A clash gave me all the club games. Ma gave me the PNC, ma the World Rugby qualification schedule. But yes, it's all
but okay, kalango ho na le ika ko kamai nge le ko ke le kamai ka alo le mona le ka alo NPC kai minge. Or facility. Why will make available la ko NPC not for the man sam? Lo ia langa lai ko kala ke kamai I lang ko yungi. So ai ka kaula le rugby union sa mo nga facility mai ma asi ile rugby union NPC ele e release ku ya kamai lo winga ele ye se me o fai ka ko yungi o facility nga ne fai ngi. Ia vai la le fo la ko ya lu ya skama le o mai ko la to. Ele o fai se la ko me. Io o facility nga ne facility ai o le kom fai le coach e popungi le yungi kom fai le manager pupungi le yungi va pe vonga ke wa costa lo ngalwenga. Who worry about your job? You can get a job another time. Pe a uma sero le meia. Ava pena no fai meia ka ko yungi. O bu pena. Pe ngo fa ku kai mo. To le forma ya. Fa ku pe ya lo sa vali mai. Lo vai ko sa vali mai le se la kapisa mo. Ongo le. Wa ka ngo a veces uma la vale ka ko pole yo
ma el fa longo fo ile okay lo ka pia me ko kan ngoi e reflect me lunga resort je me le ku e fiu ka ko nganga me kana hale a fa ye inga le au e fiu ta mai asa wa ka lunga I la ba ngolo fa ye fa ngom ka pela me ko kalongo ko contract ka me ele mfinga fa ele ko singa o me nga fa ele yungi e kalongo le yungi foi le yungi ka ko le yungi ai le ko kala ke ka me release me ka me ki conditions
for 1 or 2 games
ia nga fa le ele me ye ka ka PR person kalongo ka me ki kalongo I ma ku ka me ki au finga o ku pelo in mau ko professional la ka pi o ku pe e ka si ele ai ngol kamale ka alu malonga ai malonga ma ku awol fa pinga ngo ka ngo sa ka mikiki ka ko sa mo eva fe maku o ka ko la o la ngu e o fa ka sa pinga fa ka amali maku o maku e fa longo I lang kama o awala nga fa ka ko al mele ko bunge e o pulsa la uso o le fa nga do nga ka ka fa ungo me ia le pe o nga kongi me al ko kongi me ka maki ia o le au nga fa ya le ka me ki ngi pulo place ala via pion melen sa ngo me ti ala via ka me ki o ye ko ya ya e va fe e sa ul kala me le ngi kupe a fa pelo le ngi kupe le fe ka ki lo la ka pi o lo e na ngi ska lo ngai fa me wa e le nga ka ki nga ko lo ko pe ma ko le nga le ka alo ma ki lo ai me se la ko lo ka po a pe ngo fe ko ke le ale me ka nga ko e su lu nga ko fa
See, you're right. I bet you there are so many players that are wanting to play for Samoa.
Absolutely.
I was one of them.
Yeah.
Because after the 91, I was like, I want to play for Samoa. But they're blocked. I'm not sure why they're not getting looked at or not in the system, because there are boys that would love to play for Samoa and are good enough. But why we are missing out on these players is really disappointing.
Yeah.
It's hard for us to watch.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, it hurts my
Yeah.
heart to see.
Yeah.
And I know the boys are trying their best, but they're almost like they're restricted for some reason,
Yeah.
where and it's either the game doesn't suit the way they want to play, or things are not, I not feel supported. It's just like a child.
Yeah.
If you support your child as a
Yeah.
father,
Yeah.
they'll do anything.
Excel. Yeah.
They'll excel.
Yeah.
But if you just say you keep on hearing and not support them, they'll just clam up and they'll be too scared to try anything.
Foi mai le usau ngo ia tole fo mai ile fia o mai ka aro ia sola o le vola ofisili po la mo le o sola o le fia o ka mai ka aro o le fai fia ka mai ka aro to le fai me fia o ka nga ko le yungi they work hard le mo mau ia le tuitinga o mako ia sola but ele ma se kupe nga kai ale o kai minga lo le yungi everybody nga kongo le yungi le smile ma fai me fia a ku le au nga lu no politics no politics i kai minga yo o ka ko ka ngo sa o le la fa me ka o ke le mero ko mai o le fia ka mai ka alo Stephen Bishop ma e vai o le nga velo plus ko foi mai a Stephen Bishop ko mai ko ka alo ongola o fia ia a mako ko vole samo ola le nga lu dua ka le yungi o te e o mai e lango ma ko le nginga me penga le se polo kiki ngaso people used to be in a union they work hard al mele o hila uri mai ni is all about me I fai keke e lo se mele le menga mi yo male ai o wai ko ai ia o ka kai minga yo
si me ya voi ya nga vo Samoa mai mo me fo le fengo fie nga va venga e sa le an mele sa ngo mai e lupo e JT e pe falling on me e o le coach e players pe o fe nga ko me pe falling on me ka alo o pe o la o already e fe inga ron me pe fale ko yo seko e le voka fa lo ngo sa ngo nga le ko fe ya o nga me fa penga a le qualify po la vo la no ko po ye me fa pe la me le ko le film I kanga ka ava ko coach ya mangia lo ko war ia nga ka miki ala le fele nga lo sa mo la le coach fa pe fa play sa ya me lo ko po le mal visil kele e fa ngo fie ala ko nga waki pe watch ia coach fa pe ale nga lo o sek ku sa lo ngo fo la ko yo fa ia o review ko miki fa ngo fie players e ma coach a o review nga la ko o ye fai le review la ko mala ko nga luenga ade o fai la ko nga luenga e ka ko fai you know after World Cup after last World Cup fa lo ko wo sengi ko kala ke fami alenga ma nga players ti ka alo competition le lunga I tier 1 teams ala ko la ko sengi ko kala sengi le me fa mai e o la lo ka alo la lo I o nga fa pe mo me kupe e ka ke lo kupe ka ke le o le kupe mul mai ka alo lunga competition le ma ka alo nga kele vo le ka alo ka alo na mo o le kupe follow me ko menga a ku sala le kilo ka kai ese me la kilo ya le kilo ku langa me mal malo si ngai ka mai ka alo ma coaches solo ka fai
The good thing about it is that we've lost against Tonga, Fiji, America, and we've had a draw. So all we need to do is win the one game. Okay, that's all they have to focus. Don't worry about the past now. One game they have to focus on, and if they play and stick together and just keep a simple game plan and win them on set piece, we will win easily. But we just have to focus on it, and that's all we want. Our thoughts and our prayers for our team just to win this game and get to the World Cup, get home, regroup.
Well, fa kwang vola sports no le mai mo mai ya ka ko au ya le malu fo ya fa ya ngam ka ko au ka kongwa e manguia ko kom fai na so ia mo sa lo konga ko ma fa au nge yengi me ka fia ia au fo ia ko mo kingo le sa mo le behind ya ko o angi me fa avis ia kiria ko ma fa ma ko ia ko fia ko ke averi ia le soa fo sa mo me ko ke malo kasi ko loko e mangia ma me mal ya all the best
malo I totally agree with that. And wishing Manu Samoa all the best with their game against Chile. But I believe, on my own opinion, it's above the players, it's above the coaches. Yeah, te whatalo whatu. O le tato mata upula tato Talanoa te mine o le ta'alonga lea sama vai atu ta'alonga le All Blacks mo le au malosi o South Africa. We'll start from JT and then we'll go around the table.
Yeah, well, we saw the result. It was a tough one. It was an interesting game for me. Wellington, not a really happy ground for South Africa and the All Blacks. South Africa is winning a lot.
Yeah.
Why they took away Athletic Park, my favourite ground in Wellington, but that's another story. But you could see that in the first half, with the injuries that were happening with South Africa, they were that close to breaking. But we couldn't break them, and I say we as the All Blacks could not break them. But they were down with players, and they were getting on halfbacks on the wing and loose forwards and centre, and so they were just about broken. And then the half time was almost like the standing count, and then the bell went. They went to their corners, and boy, the second half, South Africa were a different team. I don't know what he said to them at half time, but they came out, and boy, that was a half that I've never seen before. And what was really evident to me in the last 20 minutes, when they kept on scoring tries, the All Blacks almost looked like they gave up.
Yeah.
There was one time they were behind the in goal area after a try, and they were all looking at each other. So, and even in that game, and I just sense there's something wrong in the changing room. I think there's, when they're looking at leaders, who they're looking at. They're looking at Ardie, they look at Scott Barrett, they're, looking around. It just, to me, as we've all played, we know that there's, when we're there, we always look at Fats, and there was one leader, or we look at Fitzy and listen to what he has to say. But at that time, in the dead ball area, who are they looking at? And that was really evident to me. The result, I think, is a big problems in that All Black camp at the moment. But we'll see what happens on Saturday with the Bledisloe. But I still think there's a lot of questions that need to be answered on who's actually the leader, the right captain for the All Blacks.
This is the biggest ever margin that the All Blacks have lost, 43-10. The fans and the supporters of the All Blacks. I mean, you should have heard some of the podcasters going off at the All Blacks. More or less, so you tanga ile ta'alonga.
Salo le intercept le ngam ko upset ya o ingelo anga pe work le passing le All Blacks ya score wa kim salo score ingi silo a intercept lo le la ko wingi le o le si kulanga fo le two good South Africa set pieces skala mo line out go forward for la ko mo kulang penga ko sau la ko au mai ka ko kunga le back line ka mauli uma ya ngai back line na South Africa so le speed, the footwork, ball skills all so le a step mai ngai ka manga ma kwa few ngi sila so se e ku ila lo ale ma ngai fo yo lenga ka ma le second 5 number 12 very strong le carrier ka nga ma le ke score ole e ma Felika e o fo ole sikulanga ole la ko kicking game o inga le nga makua fa le ko ngi sila porque lo kike a Felika ko Felika ko mo mai ole sime le o ka wo che chi malai le la lo ni ko ngi sa le ya nga fa ina ka no au ki o ka lo fo le Moscaria e ma lo All Blacks i den pak anga ka lo nga sui malai ngi wanga fa ya inga a fa pe ka alu wini ko ngi le chest mo e ma lo Felika mo ya lo kan lango malai wo umanga fa pa ia le yo ele o ka penga ka ko Pacifica ka matua ma ya o suilo ya nga ko fa ya lo kala e fa ya inga ya Felika o ya ngi sila ya o foi la kalole malo ya o Blacks
ai e pauala o yo e kofu maka ko ma kilo pauala me ka ua ia ka ko le it makes the rugby interesting for awai kuna ka lunga fu ka le lo po ai la malo ala ko langa me ka me foi eu foi best team so la langia e foi me e complex fo Maka pela mele sa o me ti sa o le ya o me ngang fa mo fa pe e wa gaming e o Blacks ma o ma ye a group of leaders foi fa mo a kupu me kon mala me se kon mala e ki lo lo ye la ma ku ye e fa mo ye ku mai no ngole e mo ia pola mele wa ya ko coach la lo yo a o kamala la lo yo e la gaming pe va ko mo kwale lo apo ai la fa mo pe o le se fa mo o le lo po e kupolo menga ia longo vinga loa o fale ko ia e penga fa ia o le kupu ai a uma le ko ke pisa ka ko man Samoa e o foi au nge foi bem you know every team is different e me malo se foi me vai ia kulanga me foi le fa pela o fe ko nge e fa ko sai ia lo plástico ko au e se kulanga ai penga fa ia ko ka won io kalo me vi manga e ka longa wa a penga wa Felika solo ba ki o sa mo sekena
They're a different beast.
Wave after wave after
can't
wave.
stop. You just can't stop them.
You know, the other thing that was the problem, well, not a problem, but like some of the people were not agreeing with Razor's tactical game plans over team selection. Well, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I come back to my first point. 4 weeks again. They went to Argentina, 2 tests there. Then they flew back here. This is just a combination of, you know, we think that's a rugby game, but we know that a test match is tough.
It's tough.
And it takes a lot on your body, a lot of pressure, because it's not your franchise or your province, your country. You're playing for your country. And we know how much we were, you know, when we're playing up here park, so important. And so if you think about it, they've been going for like 6 weeks. It's just got the body can take so much. So when we're talking about selection, you know, we talk about their rotation, but it wasn't rotation because of injuries. You know, I think it's just the game is just getting tougher and tougher. And so I think these selections were probably forced. I still think there was a couple of guys that should be, you know, given a chance for combination. But it's just Samoa's not immune to it, and the All Blacks are not immune to it. You know, everybody's lost a game at home in the championship, and I just think that it's just the way rugby is. We just got to accept that we're going to get a few losses because the other team is better, and South Africa were much better in the 40 minutes.
Also, JT, in terms of like player selection, also the depth in the midfield like.
Sa le ya chi ya ka ko ki kilo foi la ngosui uman pek line na Afrika ngosui se voi la ko sentai nga ka alo mo mo ska no ai ngam bo e ka wo ke menu ka o chi fu mo le so ka fu mo le o ya wa so la pe e alu la va e se le music combination equipe au ngi Oscar mo New Zealand al kai mi mo kwa stock ko New Zealand ka su el na ko su lu ma su ko kai mi ni ole al menga o kikilo fa pesal ale fo un po I fo world combination la Afrika ama ko I work le ya mai al face 5 ka le mit yo mo win sui umma la va ke msalo em ko ale ya ma se si o vole po se excuse fo ale mele o kai mingi o ai al kai mi pikia ko ya mele o yifil mo ko ele o loa nga mo kingo po ai o ke ma mo fo wana kai mingi o ko kikilo kamalo Anton Brown. Or the lake killer kamang an wubel suko. Sekel. Yama or she second 5. Live pe ori ke fa ko e se voi ka ko vai se voi vai foi a coaches la ko. Ya ke long mai e foi se swing on la yingi le au ni file la ko.
Ola vai la o spin box so le nga kan malo si o speed. So le me umai fai o speed a carry vai forward so le be o le wa vai na malo losi a malo si ko speed ko fa kasi ko luanga ola Ko feng
That's
ka
right.
nga ka fi so le. E o equal back line. Kingola iki halu so le. E mo ko i pe ole. So I think o le finga me ki kilo e fu la ka ko back line no blacks. E ka le apka ko le speed le mai le so fa.
And can I just ask add one more thing?
Yeah.
Like watching even the women's semi-finals.
Oh,
I watched.
so le.
Oh.
And even Springbok, looking at Argentina, even Australia. There's one thing that's the difference, and maybe I might be just watching it because it's my position. But if you go into those top games and you don't have a running halfback, if you just have one that just passes and you haven't got one that's going to threaten, then you're not going to make that. You're not going to win tournaments. That's I think the running halfback has come back into play. The Roy guards. Are back into it. You look at the game against the Canada game against the Black Ferns. That girl that was running out, the Pierre, I think her name was, because she just ripped it because everybody was running off her and no one was watching. That halfback was just amazing. DuPont is another one. You see, all the best teams in the world are going to have running halfbacks, and if they're going to win the World Cup, we need to start growing. Getting back into the game. The passing halfback is good, but the running halfbacks are dangerous.
Le kalonga le All Blacks from South Africa, you don't expect anything but that kind of physicality and that intensity from South Africa every time they play up against the All Blacks.
Ochi disi kulang vola le ke ope ka kongo chichi ma endi. Le involve le one involve ia Tony Brown ni Congo le
au le
Africa team
yes.
For South Africa. Ole singa influence le lenga ye le wo ye ngi Congo le yo pe o ye le attacking coach le Africa le wo kama le Tony Brown. Ye wo ke le swinga le wo ye le work fa ka se fo ki mo le makua lenga ku.
Ia whaftai o mua. Ia se wa inga le au le All Blacks mo le astona nei. I lato ta longa le play slow ma Australia. Ia le siru o tō wawa ai le whatulanga ngame le au.
Well, I think we mentioned before about running halfbacks, and straight away we've got Cam Roygaard, one game with County, scored a try, and he's ready to come back, and he's straight back into the All Blacks. We've got Cortez Reitema as well that is on the bench. Good to see Caleb in there. I think they know that they're going to get bombarded, so Caleb on the high ball is going to be a key part, plus he's playing in good form. But we see that Will Jordan's gone back to fullback, and Leroy Carter's getting a second chance. Good to see Tyrone Lomax and Fabian Holland, so some size. I think Will Skelton, he's going to be there too, so just to combat that size and real meat in that scrum, so it's going to be good. But the loose trio are pretty much the same. Parker there, Savia and Sititi, and interesting to see that Adi Savia is the captain. Maybe that's something that we're talking about, in that third board area, that leadership thing, and so I think it's been quite clear. Also good to see Patrick Tuipolotu, good boy from Auckland that's back in there, and also
Peter
Lakai, who's giving an opportunity. He's been playing well for Wellington and the MPC, so obviously his work over the ball is going to be key when he comes off the bench.
Ia ke oa ia lo ia vai e sila ke o kalo o le valu le a Wellington lo o whewhengo skamalinga sa me Wellington.
Duplessis.
Yeah.
Karifi.
O ke whiwhia ko ia Peter Lakai.
I like Duplessis because he's plays with his heart. He's a tough player. It's just at that level when when he carries that ball, just doesn't make that impact in there. But all the other things that he does over the ball, his tackle, his work rate is good. It's just not being able to shift bodies and get through that and winning that contact area.
O mua le soba ai le kaalonga le valo All Blacks ma le Wallabies.
Ke onga le fengo fefo. O le mai foi la mai Australia, o la foi lunga Australia ke minge foi le
They've been playing really well, yeah.
Kaso lako wa se vol lako ka lo Australia. A me se la ma bon lako le ngai ku. Fai ke le si malo si ke le wa o le la va ka lo ka mo le swali. So we'll wait and see. Ponga le kulanga le Manga I kele ka longa le na me la whai ngina skoa. O le si kula manga I ka longa le. O le na whai le early kick-off 5:30.
5:30. Be drier.
Yeah, to that for.
Ia, e ka kongo o le vanga penga mai fo ima, ia. O le wala pisi o le whaka koe kau o le vanga whale kongo. Ia le pier me ala ko ka longa ia whai wau mai. I le whai ngofia ka longa. E le whai ngofia. Ia mi se hoi la lenga whai inga ka ko leanga la vale Springboks. So la bounce back mai la. O le ngonga ka o ke pikia me le sango me titi. Le halfback. Rui ka mga o mi a rui ka longa le. We need to have back a kamoe. Kamoe, menga le ia le. O la vangoa le a rui ka. A le nga ka whainga. Position ka ua le. E riki malmole. Malmole fawis malkua backline. Aka kone ele whainga o fia whaka lo. Okay, lo lava close lava whaka longa le.
I believe those are the key positions for any, even rugby league. Your fly halves are the main players. You lose those players. That's the game plan out the window. Leading up to this match, do you think the All Blacks is going to come back with vengeance, JT?
I say yes. I think they have to. They would be embarrassed about that performance in Wellington, and they would be. I can just imagine those training sessions, those contact sessions. There would have been some fights this week because they'll be disappointed, and they should be. And they should be working hard to keep their jerseys. And this was their last chance.
And RDS there.
Yeah. Because this Australian team are confident, like Obo said, you know, and they've got players there that are in form. And they've got someone like Will Skelton that doesn't care about anybody. And he's going to beat up anyone and he's going to lift that knee to anyone that comes and tries to tackle him. And then you've got Swalei, who is just class at the moment. Probably the best player on the planet at the moment, and he's looking forward to playing because he's like a little kid that's coming to Eden Park, and he wants to come and have fun, and you can see it. He enjoys his rugby, and so we need to be on our game, or else they'll be breaking history again.
Ole si tato ta'alonga, ole ana tato whaatalanoa inga, totoli atu tato whaasore nei afiafi. Ole taronga la kapiriki. We want to go over to the NRL. It's the preliminary finals this weekend. So we got Melbourne Storm versus Cronulla happening on Friday, the 26th of September at 7:50 p.m. And then we have the second preliminary final, which is between Brisbane Broncos and Penrith Panthers. And that's going to be held in Brisbane. Yeah. What are your thoughts on these four teams going into the finals?
So that Friday night game is going to be good. I like watching the Storm. Storm are like a real... They're like a Crusaders team, Storm. They do everything right, really well coached. And they're very innovative in what they do. And finals football, they are always the team to always watch. But you look at the Sharks. I watched the Sharks on Saturday. And they played against the poor Raiders after that game. The Broncos against the Raiders that won when they were down. They were up 22-12, and then the Broncos come back and won 29-28. And it was just devastating for them. And then they played against the Sharks, but the Sharks are looking good and strong.
They can pull an upset.
But they could, But I think. You know, at in Melbourne at their home ground, it's gonna they have to have everything go their way, and they need to play their best game because they're playing very well. They're playing very well.
Oh, more that's over there with Penrith. You reckon they'll get another grand finale this year?
Yeah, sa nei lava anai. Ola nga ki kilo ye. Ola manga ya sa ola aule. Nga sa wa mai lalo ya Penrith fa. Ya lisi ol ke lava pe wika ka Porque la ko key players wo ese ale e ko o mai ya Penrith le ko mai mai e le o a ke masalo e ko champingi fo ya Penrith ka sanga ni.
Yeah, so this is where I think I think that the Broncos, this is my team. Broncos. It's gonna be the Reece Walsh against young Nathan Cleary. You know, you talk about running halfbacks.
Yes.
He's the best. He's the best of the game. Let's not make. But that win, that comeback win, the Broncos against the Raiders. That's Reece Walsh. He is an amazing player. That one that's going to be at Suncorp Stadium on Sunday afternoon on a dry field. I think my Broncos are going to come
Last
in.
year we liked Ricky Stewarting over.
Oh, yeah. Carlo Fire.
Carlo Fire. Ricky
Oh, really? I was thinking, poor. He's happy and then he was sad. And then they thought they won again. And
Yeah, it was the Penrith. Maka ko he yo la o masangi I finals.
yeah.
Ka ko vai pe sa mo mala makanga ngasui kel ngasui mai coach ya players ba ko I check ta ko ngoi. Ira la o sa o me la o kulang o finals gi. So ska me kiki va ko el coach ke mi ngem ko fa inkala. Ire fa ngo fie pe. Lo bo you know lo la ko lo o mai ke mi wa. O fie nga wo me. Ya all Sharks, ya. All Sharks lo que lo e fale nga me fu. Kamanga no take all Storm. Ya pe ang sa ngochi pe al kusele so masangin malo, masangi. Ya al fen kai ba ko ka alo ai lon malaya. Al map na.
Oh, okay, ro se ke me mo model JT ro e ka ko pikinga I.
Hey.
Welcome JT. So, once you place the bet, you have to shout lunch if you lose. O era lo peki e malo le finals.
The finals. So the first game on Friday. So I think the Storm are going to win that game.
Yeah.
And that's against the Sharks. I think the Storm at home would be too strong. And then the second game on Sunday, at the home game at Suncorp, the Broncos are going to win. They're going to beat the Panthers, okay?
Yeah.
All right.
More. Yeah.
And then we go to lunch down at the waterfront when you guys pay for
Or the final.
Yeah.
Or the Kosangan game. Penrith. Or the Storm.
Yeah, West Storms.
Esse Storm is South Africa. Storm.
Yeah, e malo le Storm ka lo mal Sharks. Yeah, ai o ka longa la pe o fa kulpen fa ka pen sol.
Yeah.
Yeah, all Broncos foi la auagi.
Yeah, I thought we were Broncos.
Yeah, ai ko le form le o ele pen o sol fa ka. Ku solo ma fa ele Broncos. Alo fa ko le pen.
Carlo Fire.
Wallet.
Yeah, le la. Yeah, ko langa le ka ko make ko winga le
Yeah. Results for the next week's
Yeah,
show.
no.
I'm going to go with Penrith and Storms for the finals.
Okay.
The reason why I go for Penrith will make a Mickey Samoa.
I had a couple of Reece Walsh. He's Samoa.
Yeah,
And Mariner. Yeah. Lappy's son on the wing. Yeah, Ben Hart.
I'm looking forward to the Pacific Cup.
Pacific Cup. Yes. Gosh, they're calling some good boys in there. Haas is there, and I think he's trying to get his mates.
Okay, lo le vaso foco que o mo te vengi lo o mo ka ko merchandise. Mele e vengi for the Samoa merch. So I think tomorrow. Oh no, sorry, next week. Yeah. We're two now for Manu Samoa. The current reality is that Manu Samoa just came out of the 2025 Pacific Nations Cup with inconsistent results, including a draw with Chile. The Union, the Lakapi Samoa, has battled financial collapse. They cancelled the tour in 2024 and a governance scrutiny with the Union itself, with the administration. The World Rugby has jumped in several occasions. Quite recently in 2017 when they jumped in to help the crisis with the administration and the union, and just last year when in 2024, there was an article on RNZ that said that Samoa's financial woes are due to the decisions taken by the union. I mean, how do we unpackage this with? I don't really know how we're gonna unpackage it, to be honest. But I think if we just go around the table and just have honest opinions and thoughts, se kali le kako whaasoa.
Can I open up by saying that I went to the game on Saturday to watch the Counties against Auckland, and while I was watching the game, I saw Census running on the field. And I said, why is Census coaching Auckland and he's not over in America coaching? So my understanding, and I heard it, and it was from a second-hand source, that they couldn't afford to take him over to America. So he didn't even travel to America. He stayed back here. Now, why are we not paying him? And that's, for me, that's a decision from the top.
From the top.
Because I hear they say that, I'm not playing rugby on the field, but if you make those decisions that don't help our team perform on the field by keeping our coaching staff, how are they supposed to perform? That's just my first point. So maybe I can kick it off with that, because it does have an effect on decisions up top, not bringing or paying for people, our coaches, to go and coach our team, especially in important games like versus Chile.
Pea lau karang whak momo, kele I o me kaunga ngawhai ngā luenga. Pea ngawhai ko poa me kaka whiu e ufufi kai pea lupo e ufufi e kwa kamai moa e o me. O ringa ngā whamkaranga o me uma e reflect me lunga I malai I results o le au. O la whala ka mwhai e coach makami ka alo. Ia langa e pea ngawhai ko pe e mele ka kwa mi ai. Pe o le ka whiofi le e le mele whale kongu le. Ia le lau ka mo le mau kai pea o kala. Ma lenka ko mo fol kala ngā waku le rugby whai le. Whai so ngā kosi ma mea rugby union le mo e mai la whamkaranga le. O kele o le whaanga o kupe e le yungi e le karwhea ngai kulanga mea. Ma e funding e mei o ma me whapenga. Ia e a fia e la preparation au. What, end of the day, o professional la kapi, o kongi kupe. A woki ka ko whapea whamolmore Samoa mea. E le whapea ko kongi leo blacks maisi au mai Samoa whapea. Ia wakul ka isi malmore kongi ai. Ia ka ko mawa whau e ko kongi. O kemingi e ola wika mi ka alo Samoa. I le kupe. So, e kukusa umale ia malai le ka alo mai ka e pauan mea. O ka ngaka lo whaia kongu. Alo la ko faia kongu ma faia ia pokalame kulanga me o le yungi malako ia makai ku le po fea kongu me ye o ale faia me le ia pela on fisiri po fea I ka ko last year lo fa mal ka sangi be ko no we o le ka ke ku I o paul me o mama fo ku par palo ko mo la lo par palo no ko la Ei mas me o alu luma pe alu wanga alu ko static level me le ka ko mang sa mo ka lo foi kam finga me mo pat ke le al me ka mo su alu ngole o le me a ko yingi la ka pi mala ko ma fai ku la ma fai
ko foi ba vene ka o mai chichi fa ngo ke pe fa pe o le ya Alke misa akasia ele o hunga ko le yungi o kalo. Ale ku ia faia onga kongo coaches. Ole o kamale ole scrum coach.
Scrum coach.
Ya ni ki ona aka fa le kongo ko skala mo le first staff. O ole le o ia le o mangi le wanu ko e fo I male mal captain. E makwa ele
ke le mele
ko fa 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 pengi ele ele au. Fa fenga ka ko fai kama se ka lo lokongu e awol ma al kupe a le ola uri e so kupe mo o ali sile me ne ku puso ongi e ko fia o ko le o so o ko le wo kap ko ke o le I wo rugby mo ko wo I ko ku le ko fa la ve o fa la ve I me ala au me o ka singa me ne ngo fa lo ne a fia inga kama inga ko se au yo mo fungi o merola ele faila ko ripoki ma fai assess me na kama ye mo kengia ngai kama la sa o faia o la me ko ke o kai mina ma ko mo ke e sia ku ni peleskengi me gakanga ngal fa kama la va ngal ko fa mo ngi ala me ko fa la vela ve ko fu o ko yo ko ke o fu ele o ni te kama ka alo kai minga ko fa vela pa o me na focus e kama ka alo ka longa o le manager fa ko ngunga o le coach kala ngo kai meu mo ka longa la so ala me ringo fu ya ke le kupe walu ai ya ale la o kai me ka o nge o le qualify ele au le wo ka pa le o ma fainga nga ye coaches o le wo ko yo ya kama ye la ko au ole Le o leile yo.
I agree with more there, because I can only go back to when we were playing, is that I think it was very minimal we saw any of but we knew that we were supported, you know, because when we would play, we knew that we had all their support to go out there and we just play our rugby, and so therefore we reflected that how we played, because we knew that we were left to do what we do best. Yes, we had our coaches, we had some tough periods, but ultimately everybody was a happy team. And what happens when you feel supported and you're happy with your team and coach? You get winning. You know, you win. You win at Apia Park every time. But even if you don't win, you know that it will give them 110% every time they play. Every time they put on that jersey.
Like one of the things that's holding Samoa back is the governance and trust. Ngai kena ngā kōsau ngō mai ei. Ngai le interview le Samoa Observer ia le presidente po le chairperson o le Yungi. Sa fasilingi le Samoa Observer pe afea pe ngā ke step down me le kofinga of chairperson. You know, pa ngā kale kule pa vonga le fa pe he's not the one playing. And the problem is from the money. Olo i se kupe le Yungi. But you know, if he's saying that, then maybe he should come out and address to the nation, this is where we're at and this is where we need to be, because there hasn't been a communication like that from the chair or the president of the rugby union to let the people know and what are the plans to rectify it. Player welfare and employment. Let's go mangaku in terms of Michael Alatoa. A lot of people, like some of the fans are like saying, oh, why is he going back to his club? He should, you know, and then we got the case like with Census Johnson. You know, these players are also, they have to feed their families. You can imagine if these players had to pay mortgage. You know, they can't go to the bank and say, but it starts in 2 months. You know, you can't really say that. The banks they don't love you like that.
Ai ke kulanga mega ia wale okeri maka interview fakalonga. Ia va pela ole mafisilia ko ai va pemekala ko inga ele uyo kalo ia le ko vai ma ko le alonga walo. Alvisili e ole ko man kam ka alo sinku. O isu eko ole yu. Nga nga ia male pore fai. O le fai me a pe o le mele o lusia ka ko kemi ke pe o sa o titi ka ngo kwa yo kemi e New Zealand pon Samoa ngai ka mekie le mas ka mekie inga ngo fika alo mo Samoa e ringi ku pe nga kai a fele o le ma ngai o le lo o le esa pole la ku se ocupe le ka vol ku pe nga kai a pe fele lo fia just wanna get in there play mo le chesi mala ku wa ke le yo le winga ia makanga nga lu le Yungi nga kai mi sole e o mai malo le ma se yo fa fela o ma pe wiso tuno basho pansi orlo la e rinka ma ta fa kinin ya lo mango ku fa fika alo mo Samoa ke lo ke mingi o le ia mas ka me ki ko isi ma fo ko fika alo mo Samoa.
Well, if you had 23 players, 20 plus Samoan players that were playing in the Moana Pacifica that, you know, were eligible to play for Samoa, but they chose not to, you know, it also, and, you know, who's to blame them too? That is their future.
Ke kupulo me fa pengi. O kami ka alo o fa ya poane. Ka ke lo. O ke le yo me la kupu ka ke lo. E me la kupu kong ala ngale Yungi ala mam la me kulanga me fa pengi. Ai kupula me pe fa ku ngalo la yo la ko ku le il coach ma ngai ka maka. Which is sad yo nga me le fko.
O mo ke lore le ke kise ngalwenga e mo miele ko fa il Yungi. Where do we start?
Amaka mai o le o ese o ku nisiga ka fresh funga le amaka nga ko pio mai le Yungi mo le yo nga papala mo solo ke le ma awai ava pe gang sa ngo mai le kai fongo e lo nga yang la kapi e sa o ngai ana fai unga e o foi la iskan kala o fesila e kai fia le ko kongi e board members I fongo e fai awa si wala va kongi board members ale na le kongi ka maka alo e le ko o ila ko kala puma I gangi fa pe mai la kongo oi ala me linga piki mai fu la uri la fa fo pe la ko le ai o sui le kalonga al fesili foi la ki fai aku o fe ko e piki mai ni loko se le o yengi ka ko ele o le ka misanga sfuli mal I Samoa wa le kala le fa pe mai si o ala me linga ko e piki mai fu e fa fu le ai a o le fai o Samoa nga mo a vai fai le ai kia le va ko players I fa fu follow mai lona ia le makungu o fiki mo ko yo ai o le mesa ala ko yo fia kupe ko ngen si o makanga kai ko ngore ko fia la fainga renga le ale rugby uni la mai mau ai le o le ia fainga ka misa yo ai le o le lenga ele mo fainga ave ia ka ko coaches si o ia mo kam fai equipe players ia ele mo fai foi ka ko yungi o nga fesili mai I yungi nge e release aku kamai ora ele o fesili ngianga o fai se ko ngalu nga pele ai yo o mera le o fesili nga ki sa ngo mai fui mon where we started a makalonga kiri ese lai ia kanga kai konga ko yung ai aku kanga ka funga le e ko fo I mai aso la fio kanga nga lui yo le yang o fa ya ko e o fo la uri le kai me le World Cup o la me rin ko go fo war kala le lenga ku ngai si kamba nga coaches fa mai wole ma fa ku place kenge oi o place kenge o ka sawa o le olanga fala kapi kam fala kapi ele popole po ai o place kenge o ai ma le ai Power me le popole ka mal kapi o le perform milunga malai mal kapo inga la ku oi place kenge ke ro ko fa mai ale wa ku fa mai e kaunga e ma fa o place kenge se vai me ele ufka ofi o kengi ai ngai kam fa ya iwi oi o ko ka o mai place kenge e ai la o ko ke su e me ma su e ko pisingi si me ai le fa ia me ko ke fa la velave o kai minga lai alu ma fa ka mal ka longa me uma mo ka penganga msa nginga ai ko aku ko ya o i popole aku pare vai to ko golf o kai minga al fongo le au lai o ko fa la velave me nga yo e ava koi o kele ko pe mai maulo ri ngo I kai mi le World Cup mo me ia e o kai mingi o ka mo
e fa popo kule kana foi amo a foi mai si o kali si nga o kai mingi ele se kai mi o mo koi we are so left behind o mo kwa mama o lumalo la kapi kai mingi
Oh my gosh.
ale fai al kai mingi ma act lawyer e Samoa ma ia lo kula men malo fo la kulanga la kusa swang kulanga ile kilo la kapi o lo po folinga mai o la kapi pe ole al keminge fai lo swinga o ka un sui awa ala wa se ka ko o mama wale o a wi lu mama even fiki lo o esel me o ye o ka ko but it's never too late e ma fai ia a paku ka ngaka e fa maongi ka ngaka e ngaru lue e willing e ngalue ka kongole rugby ni na ka ko kai pe ia la ka kalngonge I me even domestic competition kongo o sa mo ko I le ai se me ko ioki a ko so o fela o ye fa fela le ka kalngoa ka ko la unga for development is nothing le se me okupu so e falling in mana pinga nga se mo mikinga me o fe la kapi ai se me okupu
And let me tell you, Andy, to their four, I can tell you, my children, they want to play for Samoa. They because they know their dad played for Samoa. My daughter played for the national women's team, played for under-19s, got them to a World Cup in cricket, you know, because she put everything into Samoa. And my boys, they want to play for Samoa. I think our priority at the moment is to win against Chile. We need to get back into the World Cup, and then we have some room to get back on that table to try and fix these things. But if we don't win against Chile, then we're in a lot of trouble. Where do we go to from there? And that goes back to the table on them to make some decisions on where they move to next, if not move away. But you know, we are a God-founding country. Our prayers are with our boys that are over going to play in Chile. It's not going to be easy playing in Chile.
No.
They'll be in the Lions' Den, and they'll be by themselves, and we just want our boys to go with our prayers and our best wishes. And if they win that game, then we can go, and that could be our starting point. But at the moment, we are like, this should be our warm-up games. America should be our warm-up games. We shouldn't be in the place we're at. But God willing, that if we all work together, there's a lot of good people. There's a lot of great ideas and with experience that we can get out of this.
O se mga kufai wa kakuri I o manfei o ngala kakupokalami. The change ole kali, it's simple. We need to change the governance of the administration. You know, with all respect to the au ngai kamaka alo lo fa penga nga ku ile kingo ma ka alo every, you know, weekend, especially with the game against Chile this upcoming Saturday. We need to get it right with the administration before we can move forward. It's just gonna get harder and harder. Especially, you know, it is short Samoa ile talent. I mean, we got a lot of players that, you know, who want to play for Samoa, who haven't yet put up their hands, and they carry the flair that the 91, the 93 team carried. It's just that they want to see an administration that treat them professionally with contracts and welfare taken care of, you know, job security, and, you know, otherwise if we don't do that, we're just gonna keep losing to other unions. O se mga kufai unga ka ko whakaronga ngi segment.
Yeah, avakuia foingi ko avakuil mo nga ole sports no. Ia le maluma ka ko mansa mo ia ko mamanga ia mangia kele ia le al faiva kun kanonga le machil. Alo ko kele ia mo lua ngai ka ko malo ia ka ko anga ko le World Cup foi o lo mange.
Ia e moni le ato le fo ai o mo ga fo ngam ka inga ia lo ye. Me se World Cup o inga le tu la pena o le ia mang malo ka ko wale inga ia ko e sawa ko le polala. A le ka kalo aku le il fa ya onga mal kai malanga fie mo se mo e ilungo ka pokala. O ke le mga ale mele le umaku nga ko fa mai le ile ko ye se if ma se pat. O le kai milinge we need to front up punga le wale aka kwa lofo la ka pia sa mo ma alum fa nga ye fie pe o sa ngo ya ai rupo te e ka alulonga ya o ngalo ia tu front up ma o mai ai o le kom fa fa pe si ki o mo mo la o ke le mga ai project ya yo ke ma fo fa o e fo fo le lumo me ma fo fa lu mga yo o alum fa ia mo la se felo inga ma ya e alo I ko fa ia mo ia on ka ko fa so le ska mun.
The reason why I always come, and I love talking to Te Afua and Samoa. I've learned so much playing on the field with them. And is why I come here, is because we love the game, we love our country, and this is not about attacking anybody. No. It's just about we're disappointed in what we want to do, what's best for our team. And, you know, but at the moment our priority is obviously we need to win this game. Yeah. You know, Le Malu, Tusi Pisi, when he's there, we just wish him all the best. Get those boys up, let them know that we're behind them 100%, and in particular, all our families and our supporters from Samoa. And then it's not a bad thing if you change boards. Don't think it's a negative. It's just about getting new ideas, some fresh leads. It's almost like coming off the bench to add value onto the field, and that's what a board does, because sometimes, you know, the game has changed and so does players, but then the new players that come or new board members that come, they just bring some new ideas and that energy that's really needed. So I don't think it's a negative. I just think that maybe it's time, but only those people will know when their time. If you think that you're holding the team back, do the right thing. But if you're going to add value and keep on going, then keep on doing it.
Yeah, it's a wrap here from the Sports Talanoa office. We want to say thank you so much for watching. Wishing Manu Samoa all the best
Yeah.
for the game against Chile.
Ko
Bring it
mahalo.
home, boys.
Yeah.
You guys got this.
Mali Broncos. Lunch.
Kaya shout on lunch.
Also want to give a shout out to Eveni Pacific
Yeah.
for our
Yes.
sponsorship.
Yeah.
Mahalo lava. Yeah, until then, to Fasifua.
Passport.